welcome to this edition of SAC News. I'm Sebastian Escalante.
And I'm Corey Moroni. Thanks for joining us on location today for our final episode of the semester.
Coming up, we introduce you to a newly elected ASG member.
Plus, your last chance to catch a dance performance this semester.
We begin with how students are navigating all around the construction on campus.
Sebastian asked students how the new Science Center has already affected them.
Santa Ana College is dealing with construction of the future Science Center. With the new building coming soon, there have been many changes on campus for students to deal with. We spoke to some students about how construction has affected them.
Definitely do have to come earlier because I feel like ever since they started construction, like it's been more, to me it's been harder to find a parking spot. So I have to wake up I think half an hour earlier.
It really hasn't made school life difficult, really. The noise is minimal, and it probably was only maybe twice the entire semester. But other than that, it's been pretty chill. It hasn't really changed anything.
To me personally, I think other than cramming into finding ways to get through the construction, I guess has been a problem or a challenge, but other than that, not really.
Although the construction can be a bit of an inconvenience, many students are excited to see the end result.
I really do, especially when you see pictures like this. You're honestly excited about what it's actually going to look like in a bigger version. And yeah.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, I feel like it might make the campus look nicer having more buildings around. And then plus they'll have more classes for us to take. It might be a better change.
In Santa Ana, this is Sebastian Escalante, SAC News. Now for a look at what ASG has been up to this year and the plans for next year. We go to Andrew Lapp.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Theodore Moreno, ASG Vice President and Student Trustee-elect. Theodore, thanks for joining me today.
Thank you so much, Andrew, for letting me be on the show.
Yeah, well, it's a pleasure to have you back, man. So let's start with, you were ASG Vice President this year. How was the year? Was it for the whole year or was it the semester?
It was for the whole year.
Okay, it's for the whole year. How was the year? How did it go?
It went well. I was elected last May and I served for an entirety of 12 months. Together with my ASG, we've pushed for more student representation and more student involvement on campus. We made sure events such as Club Rush, such as Welcome Back, such as Final Stress Relief were all successful events, making sure that we find every possibility to not only recruit students to engage in student leadership, but to also serve the students that we've swore to serve under oath.
Yeah, that's great. Are there any events in your mind that kind of stick out as particularly special or particularly memorable?
I would say Club Rush. Club Rush is where you see all the different clubs from the Inter-Club Council come out for 2 days in a central mall, advocating why students should join their club. And so it's just a great involvement to see clubs that have historically been here for a long time, just constantly renewing their membership, renewing more students to sit upon those official head positions every single year. And just get students that are, just staggering around campus to find something to do other than just going to class or just going back home or going to work.
Yeah, to find more engagement on campus, right?
Of course.
Yeah, and are there any new clubs that caught your eye this year? Anything that you want to give a special plug for?
Yeah, I would say the new club of the year, Sociology Club, ran by Dr. Campbell. This past semester, it was actually just established this past semester, and it was just awarded the newest club of the year award. Okay. To the best club, and it was rewarded to the leadership banquet at the Hacienda this 2 weeks ago, and I'm just so proud of them. For about a semester, they were just staggering whether they should even establish their club, whether if they will even bring any students to even get involved. And so they were constantly out here, constantly doing fundraisers and constantly just advocating for students to not only know themselves, but to know about social dynamics within our society.
That's interesting. So let's get to the next step for you, right? Mm-hmm. Because you ran in another election just recently.
Yes.
And I heard you won.
I did.
Spoiler. I gave your title at the beginning, but you just want to give it to us again and tell us a little bit about what you're going to be doing next year.
So yes, on May 6th, I was formally elected the 2019-2020 student trustee. And so this position is the student representative that sits upon the board of trustees. I am the sole representative of all students at Santa Ana College, Santiago Canyon College, and the Continuing Education Center off of Fairview and Edinger. in Centennial Park. And so I'm just here to meet the needs and recommendations of all students. I'm here to just shoot my 2 cents for the next year because I only have one term. And I'm here to speak on students' concerns such as SAC. Many students at that institution feel that too many students are being denied library services, and there are too many students that are going to Chapman University.
Why is that? Why do people
Due
feel that way?
due to the lack of hours, as simple as that.
Yeah, because the SAC
yes.
library, I believe they close. Sorry to cut you off, but I think they close at, what is it, 7?
Yes, they do. They close an hour earlier than Santa Ana College. I don't know if they get an hour, if they open earlier than Santa Ana College. Maybe that's the way that they're equivalent to one another. But the fact is, there's more students at the night than there are in the morning.
Yeah.
So we should meet those needs. And if they're not in equal hours to one another, then they should come together to make sure both campuses have equal hours, and then together bring a resolution to the board of trustees or to whoever is in need to make this this reform in order that they could push the library hours, whether it be 1 hour or 2 hours in the night.
Cool. So that's one thing that you're going to be working on with the board of trustees, right?
Yes.
Do you have anything else kind of cooking?
Yeah. Basically, what I heavily campaigned upon before the knowledge of the SEC students needing the library hours are programs and services being extended to the nighttime for night students. Night students are statistically more dependent upon the community college system because they have full-time jobs, they have families of their own, they're coming back to earn their education, whether they left or whether they never came. So they're here to make a difference for themselves, for a renewal of the mind, and so they're not earning counseling hours, they're not obtaining any services in financial aid, in office student life, the bookstore, the health and wellness center. The only buildings that are really open around the night are the classrooms themselves and the library. And the library closes around 8:30 to 9ish. So we have to change that aspect because these students should obtain the same services as the students in the morning.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point because I feel like a lot of students who, if they work full time, if they have families, it's hard to go home and like make time for studying there.
Yes.
So it seems almost more important to have something like library open later so that they can like just catch an extra hour at night after class. They seem like they would be the most dependent on that.
They are the most dependent upon that.
Excellent, excellent. I'm glad to hear that you're doing that. As student trustee, does that mean you'll be sitting in on like the board meetings?
Yes, I will be sitting on the board trustee meetings every other Monday on most months. Usually it's for sure at least one meeting per month. I'll be sitting on college council. Then I'm obligated to sit upon at least one student government meeting per month on both institutions, but I've dedicated my schedule to not only take courses on both campuses because I feel like if you are the student trustee, you should be taking courses on both campuses so that you can further represent both students. You don't just show up for the shift and just go back to your home campus. You should be taking courses on both campuses. So I'll be trying to go facilities on both campuses, going to college council, going to planning and budgeting, and preferably my favorite is Academic Senate. I love meeting with Academic Senate. I've had a great time with President Monica Zarsky this past year, and I know that though leadership is in change for the next school year, I know I have much confidence in the Academic Senate and what they will do to benefit our students.
What have they been up to this year, and what's that experience been like for you?
It's just an experience to see that different representatives from different departments and divisions are coming together to make sure that students are accounted for and to making sure that also staff are accounted for. For example, there is talk of, in regards to the refund, or in regards to the payment, if I do not know the exact terminology, but when you register for a course, you have to it takes 3 days to place that payment down or you'll lose that position in that course.
Right, the 3 day, like the drop period.
The 3 day drop period. However, they're trying to amend it in some way or form in order that, because students have been figuring out that if they just register on the day of the class starts, they avoid that 3 day drop period because they could just jump on like a wait list. They don't have to get dropped like students in the summer, students during the winter that are being dropped because they're not doing the 3 payments, because they're the ones that are jumping ahead to make sure they're registering the courses. So if anything, it's causing students to procrastinate and to enroll in courses that they should be enrolling in a lot sooner. And so it's basically taking up spots that should be going to other students or taking up spots that should be filled in a lot quicker.
All right. Well, Theodore, thanks for talking to me today. Thanks for sitting in on those trustee meetings. We're going back to you, Corey and Sebastian.
The art department held their annual student art show in SAC's main gallery. The show featured student work exclusively in mediums ranging from watercolor, ceramics, photography, and 3D mixed media. The art department also handed out awards to some of their top students. Students say they look forward to this show all year. The show featured student work exclusively in mediums ranging from watercolor, ceramics, photography, and 3D mixed media. The art department also handed out awards to some of their top students. Students say they look forward to this show all year.
I've always been interested in art. I've been doing art for a long time, and I was eager to learn about it in more of a practical way in the real world, rather than just learning techniques and styles and history, learning how the business is done and how art is actually shown to people.
The Theater Arts Department at Santa Ana College is getting their act together for a studio event. The Hear Me Showcase is a selection of solo acting pieces created by the students. This is one of the first times the students will perform for an audience. Tickets will be sold at the door and on the SAC Theater Facebook page. General admission is $5 and $3 for students and staff. The showcase will be at the SAC Black Box Theater on June 3rd at 7 p.m. Visit the SAC Theater Facebook page for more information.
The SAC Dance Department is also having a studio night. The dance event showcases what the dancers have learned over the semester. The students participating in the event are from ballet, hip-hop, and salsa classes. The event will be at Phillips Hall Theater on June 4th at 7 p.m. Tickets will be sold at the door for $3.
Still to come, a peek into a new web series at SAC.
And a fun way to kick off summer for music lovers.
Hi, welcome. My name is Mike Dermody, and I'm a professor at Santa Ana College in Film and Television. And I'd like to introduce you to a relatively new certificate that we have called Agency Film Production, where we take the basics of digital storytelling and film production, such as editing and cinematography. And once you get through those basic classes, then your advanced classes are wrapped around working with clients to help tell their story. Let's meet a few people that have been through it.
If anyone is interested to get into the film world, but not just for the arts, but into the business aspect, I think agency is a great way to begin with. We're trying to showcase that we're more than just a class. This is a foundation of a business.
The agency class also really gives you a lot of experience with the preparation, the pre-production, and the organization skills.
You get the foundation of learning how to organize your crew, organize your budgeting, organizing the equipment you need, and just how to communicate with the clientele.
When you talk about agency film production, the individuals involved in an agency production unit both come up with the ideas, and even before that come up with the strategy, then come up with the concept, and then go ahead and execute that concept, including all aspects of production.
You're not going to be alone with this. We will be making mistakes. The clientele knows it is a student-based project, but they take it as a business literal. So coming to this agency class will open up your eyes, saying like, this is what you're going to be doing in many occasions with different businesses out there.
It's always good to get the experience before your reputation's on the line. So it's a good thing to get done and school to like your first exposure.
It's not like you can read a book and do this. You actually have to go out and really practice. There's a lot more hands-on. There's a lot more like working with equipment. I feel like you get a lot of real-world experience by coming to the Digital Media Center.
You have to figure out what's their goal. You have to know what's the message that they want to deliver. It's not just a homework assignment. It's not just a class project. This is an actual business.
One of the first things that was asked of the class was, we were shown a video, and we were asked, how much do you think you could charge for this video? And the answer was like $2,000. I was like, what? That's ridiculous. You know legitimately what you can charge for your services.
There's thousands of businesses out there that need a new commercial, instructional videos, promoting a new something, whatever. They need film, they need video.
The classes here 100% helped me out in terms of where I am at right now. The demo reel that I was able to put together that got me my first jobs, it was kind of like a compilation of everything that I learned here.
It has helped me become more confident in my work and approaching different, not just only clienteles, but as well as finding new job opportunities. So taking all the stuff that I've learned, have applied it to different jobs that I'm currently in, and it has helped me expand from there. Currently right now, I'm working as a freelancer with TBN, Trinity Broadcast Network, and as well doing side projects.
I'm now a film student at USC. SAC, like all the experience here really helped me out. It definitely gives you a leg up, and it helps, and it's nice to like have all of this knowledge by the time you get there.
The last part too is just kind of have some fun with it, you know, make your mistakes here, laugh at them here, and just have fun.
So I highly recommend it for anyone out there that just wants to get out there and film and make money out of it. You can definitely make a living out of this.
And now for a special look at a student collaboration. We have Zach Vino with us. Zach.
Hello.
So thanks for being here.
Of course.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. You worked this semester on a special collaboration between the SAC Digital Media Center and the, what was it? The student, like the theater department?
And the theater arts program, yeah.
Okay, and can you tell us a little bit about what you guys worked on?
Yeah, so it was essentially a project, and it was a class where there was 5 industry professionals leading the way and around 35 students surrounding them, and we basically filmed a short film this semester. It was about a 30-page script, and we got it done in the 1 semester.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, so was it a short film? Like what was the whole like production process like for you guys? Did you just show up, you had a script, and you just got right to it, or were you guys involved more like from before that process?
Yeah, for me, I started in November working with Mike Dermody, who was the director, and they had a story structured out and then a script written by a professional screenwriter, Allison Volk. She's incredible, and she had a script for us. So in November, me and Derm started on getting our shooting script ready, getting our shot lists together. We then went into casting, locations, dates, and just went into all of the pre-production stuff. And then production didn't begin until January. So I was on the project for a few months before we even got rolling.
So you weren't involved with like the original script, but you were there for the pre-production part.
Yes, I was there for the entire pre-production. I got there after the first draft.
Okay.
So our first draft got written, and then they brought me in.
Okay, so tell me a little bit more just about specifically what was your role in all of it?
Yeah, so my role, I was main communicator between the cast and crew. So it was a cast and crew of about 45 people, and I was in charge of making sure they all showed up to set, making sure they all knew what was going on.
Was it like herding cats, or?
It was in the beginning a little bit, but then once they knew what we were doing, they saw the magic behind it, it was easy to get them here.
Okay.
I helped a lot on the rewrites when we were doing small critiques because I had final draft. I was doing that. I was in on the casting decision. On set, I was helping as a set manager, making sure everything got rolling. And it was one of my duties to be the liaison between the production team and the director himself to get us all going.
And what was the production team, like what was that comprised of? Was it like a bunch of theater kids and then film kids? Were there like other departments involved?
So the production team itself was all SAC television and film program kids.
Okay.
There was about 12 of us who were on the production side, and then the theater program compiled all of the actors and all of the talent.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys started doing the pre-production at the beginning of the semester.
Yes.
How long did it take you guys to actually like start shooting, and who was like involved exactly like in each step of the process?
Yeah, we actually began pre-production in the middle of last semester.
Okay.
And then didn't start shooting until this semester. So the whole pre-production phase, once we got the first script, was about 3 months. But before that, they were working on the actual script itself and the story. So it was about 7 to 8 months of pre-production before we even got rolling.
Okay.
But this whole idea to do a short film on campus with all students was Chris Cannon's idea, and that began about 8 years ago when he had the actual first idea to get this done. Yeah.
So there was like a ground floor.
There was.
You were in right above that.
Yes, there was a few different attempts that they did. They did, I think, 3 or 4 different projects before this one, but this one was the first one where they used all of the production team as SAC students.
Okay.
And then they used all of the theater as the actors, and it was like very separated. And this is the first time it really came together and was like a clear, coherent, beautiful
What were the
piece.
kind of challenges that you guys had to deal with, like this being the first time
Yeah.
that you're using all SAC students for the production?
Yeah, and that right there was the challenge because none of us had ever done something like this before. So all of our gaffers had no idea what a gaffer even did before this project. Our first and second camera assistants didn't know exactly what they were doing yet. So it was the first few days of shooting were a little bit tough on the production side. Our team wasn't up to speed where they needed to be. But as time went on, we were clicking right away. The director of photography would simply turn around and the gaffer would already know what light he wanted. We'd be switching lenses at an incredible rate. The talent was always the talent. They were doing their own thing, but with the production side, it was a different world. It took us a while to get used to being on a film set and knowing exactly what our roles were.
All right, awesome. That's awesome. Can you tell us a little bit more about, like, because I've heard, because I know a few people who are working on it, that this is going to be like a continuing series.
Yeah.
Can you tell us like what the future looks like for that?
Yeah, so the basis of this project was for this to be a web series that'll be produced over the next 2.5 years.
Okay.
They're going to film 8 episodes over the next 2 years. There'll be 2 episodes per semester. And this semester what we did was just the pilot episode.
Okay.
So the pilot episode will set up all of our characters, set up the story, and set us in a good direction. So then the following episodes from here on out, it'll be all based off of this pilot. So it'll be one coherent web series at the end of the 2.5 years.
Okay, I see. So this pilot, it's kind of like the little short feature. And how long is that actually going to be, and where can people find it once it goes up?
It was about a 28-page script, so it was a lengthy script, but it has a very fast tempo to it.
What does that sort of translate to? Like 28 pages?
Yeah.
Like what does that translate to in like in minutes?
Roughly, they say one script page is 1 minute.
Okay.
Of film time, but depending on the dialogue, the brevity of the scene, the intensity of what's going on, it could be longer or shorter.
Yeah.
Our script moves really quickly because it's more on the light comedic side, so they're firing those lines back and forth pretty quickly.
It's not a heavy drama.
It's not a heavy drama. It's not a melodrama, no. So ours is going to end up being around 20 to 25 minutes of actual runtime.
But that's like an actual pilot.
That's like a full-on pilot. If you throw commercials in there, that's your 30-minute pilot.
Yeah.
That's exactly where you're going to be hitting.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's impressive.
Yeah, so it's a full-on TV episode, if you will. Yeah.
So you guys already have like the future episodes mapped out?
Yes.
Where is that right now?
So we have a team of writers who, while we were shooting the pilot, we had a team of writers who were working on the next episodes for the rest of the project. And those guys were in charge of creating the story arcs for all of our characters. There's 5 main characters, so they had to create arcs for every single character. There's multiple secondary characters. They had to complete arcs for all of them the whole way through the 8 episodes. So we didn't have them writing scripts necessarily. We had them more going over what's this whole story going to end up being.
It's more like a storyboard kind of a thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So they came up with an entire storyboard and a map, if you will, for the rest of the shoot. And then they got a couple scripts done, but their main focus was getting the whole story done.
And how are they dealing with the fact that, you know, we're shooting at, like, you know, this is a college, so students are going to be moving on.
Yeah.
So how are they dealing with the fact that, like, arcs maybe, you know, have to be cut short?
Exactly.
Students are going to leave.
It's tough because we need the actors here for, if you would, a whole 2.5 years on this project, which is longer than any project really, and they're not being paid, they're not being compensated in any way except for credit and experience.
Yeah.
So it is tough. At the end of the day, we can't force them to stay. All we could do is create beautiful characters for them to portray and beautiful scripts so they want to come back. But if someone were to have to leave to transfer to school or whatever, we'd just simply kill them off.
All right. Well, it sounds impressive, Zach. Thanks for talking with me today. Corey and Sebastian, we're going back to you now.
To kick off the start of summer festivities, downtown Santa Ana announced their annual music festival set for this June. The East End Block Party returns with musical performances ranging in different genres from alternative and hip-hop to techno. Emerging local artists will be presenting their work in pop-up tents as well as artisan food vendors. The festival is free for all ages and takes place on June 8th at noon, located at the East End block of 4th Street. Go to eastendblockparty.com to RSVP or to learn more information on the festival.
OC's Historic Society is hosting a history roundup. There will be live reenactments of OC's historical figures, talks with historians, tours, and much more. The event takes place on Saturday, June 9th from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Heritage Museum of Orange County. Food and refreshments will be available and admission is free.
That'll wrap up this special on-location episode of SAC News. Be sure to visit our YouTube channel, and for a behind-the-scenes look at the making of this episode, check out our Facebook page.
We thank you for joining us throughout the semester. We'll be back in the fall for your latest Santa Ana College news. Enjoy your summer dawns.